Welcome back to another episode of Tana Takes. These guys need no introduction. Fred, Logan.
Thank you.
I'm your boy, 8 to the 9. Fred.
Yeah.
You know how I do this.
Yes.
I don't want to see the poop emoji that much.
I got you, bro.
Logan, please hold him down. Make sure that he, I want to tell you guys something too, man. I appreciate what you bring to this show. You know what I'm saying? Because all I'm doing is giving you, my take on some of these questions. But man, you guys here, man, and when I'm watching this show myself, I can't stop but laughing, bro. I can't help myself, man. So I appreciate you. But as we always do, I'm gonna throw something out there at you guys. Tell me how you feel about it.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right, shoot.
You ready? Here go the first one. Who's gonna be Washington's best matchup this season?
Is that team? Team matchup?
Team matchup. So what I have,
Ooh, that's a tough question.
We play outside of our division. We play the AFC East.
Yeah.
The AFC East and the NFC East has made a complete 360 change.
Yeah.
Both divisions has been playing or have some of the best played in the last year or so. Last year and this year. Last year for both divisions, both played well.
Yep.
Coming into this year, it seems it's gonna be the same thing. You have Aaron Rodgers now in that division for the AFC. You have, what we had. Philly is right now to be our dark
You got
horse
the
or
Buffalo
whatever.
Bills and Josh
Buffalo
Allen.
Bills over there. But I'm gonna tell you what I believe. Even with all that being said, I think our best matchup is going to come on Thanksgiving Day. When we see those cowgirls.
He would say that, right?
I like it, though.
And it's not for my sake. This is talking about Sam I Am. Sam I Am won the last game of the season last year when he faced them boys. And I think that's going to be the best game for him, the best matchup for our team, because it's going to be at a pivotal time in the season. It's a time of giving.
Yeah.
And Sam gonna go up there and give them just what they've been asking for, the rematch, and see if he's who he is. So I think that's gonna be our best matchup at the right time in the season.
First of all, we back on Thanksgiving.
We back on Thanksgiving.
That's
Back on
all
Thanksgiving,
that matters. It was always supposed to be Washington, Dallas on Thanksgiving. So that's my heart right there. That's why I gave you this heart. But that crying emoji, it's just because you like to be a Cowboy Killa.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what the crying emoji right there. So what about you?
I was gonna say the touchdown because it's a Cowboy Killer, right? I just think about all those touchdowns you had, and you just. I don't know if it's the best matchup for us, but it's a game I'm excited to watch, and a game I'm sure you're excited to watch. And I think you said the Sam Howell thing, kind of the relationship there. It'll be interesting. EB against Dan Quinn. It'll be a lot of fun to watch.
It's a lot of matchups that's going to probably come out, but I think at that point, our team is going to surprise a lot of people coming into that game. They're going to be sitting there talking about, hey, well, we talked about the Cowboys being one of the favorites, but it's not the case when you come into this game. These Commanders have really showed the world.
That would be how awesome would that be?
They really showed the world that they're the team to reckon with in the East. So.
And then you got Mike McCarthy, who is now calling plays head coach, going against the ex-head coach and Jack Del Rio, calling plays head-to-head. It's some battles right there.
I know, it'll be good.
Good job, guys. All right, here's the next one. This one is for me. Who is my favorite NFC East rival? Now, we just talked about those Cowgirls. But look, I'm going to tell you the truth. So, no disrespect. The Cowboys was always my favorite NFC East rival. And I think it's crazy. It's no surprise. But it was a surprise for me because when I got here, I had no expectation of what my games was going to be like playing against these guys. And then I later found out why I got up for those games so much. So, both sides of my family, my mom's side and my dad's side, have a bunch of Cowboy lovers.
That's the way
my
it
dad's
goes.
side, two of my favorite cousins, they like the Cowboys. My mom's side, my aunt and her husband was Cowboy fans. And then in Dallas, my mom brothers lived there. So I would go to these games knowing that I got my family that basically raised me, called me the knucklehead, kicked me in my behind every time I was doing something wrong, right in these stands, watching me go out there and strut my stuff. So I'm sorry, Dallas fans.
Don't be sorry.
Don't be mad at me. Be mad at my family because they was there. They was there to watch me give you those kickings. But I mean, honestly, man, that was one of those questions that it was obvious. The Cowboys was my easiest and favorite rival. For the NFC East.
When you thought about that, when you started talking, I was like, well, how do you feel about that? And I was like, well, man, Philadelphia, the old vet, was a very violent place to play, and very scary.
See, I'm sure you guys have different ones. You know what I mean? That's
in New York, I had my matchup with Plexico that we like went back and forth all the time. So I say the New York Giants because it was hard to figure out ways to beat the Giants in their heyday. What about you?
Yeah, for me it was Philadelphia. I really just enjoyed playing there. You know, the rivalry, the grittiness, and you know, it was always kind of a little bit. They were always ahead of Dallas for me. I don't know, for some reason, just the toughness, the environment, different. But I like that take, Tana. Put the cool shades on for you because, like, man, no one's beating the Cowboys like the Cowboy Killa.
It was something in the air about playing them Cowboys, man. But I would say, both New York and the Eagles was better games for us. Like those games was different than playing the Cowboys.
That's a good point.
Like New York was at a point to where they was beating us so much. The years we beat them, they won the Super Bowl.
Every time.
We beat them both games, and they won the Super Bowl. Philly was like one of those things. We get them, they get us. We'll get them at their spot. They'll kill us at at home, stuff like that. So it's crazy how that stuff panned out. All right, good job, fella. Third one. What position group are I most excited to watch this training camp? So I'm gonna say this. I don't have one. And
I feel like that's cheating, kind of.
I don't, but no, because you know why?
We cheat all the time.
I have one, but they go against another position group that I want to see.
Okay, all right.
So it's the wide receivers against the DBs.
There we go.
You would think I'm ready to see the wide receivers because I'm a receiver. But honestly, as a receiver, I watch the defensive backs more in games than I watch the receivers, especially our defensive backs, because I understand how valuable they are for our defense to be efficient. And when you know how good our front five are, you have to believe that secondary is going to be even more sound when you have likes of Forbes, Quan, or you name it. St. Jude's, Fuller, all those guys. Cam, I mean, now you add all what we just added this year, along with the guys that we have up front and the guys who was already in the back end, and then with our receivers. 3 of the best in the league, hands down. I think we talked about this so many times. Iron sharpens iron. And we talked about on, Logan's in the comments, we talked about how, going up against each other, if it's a playoff caliber team, that the practice be a little more intense or not, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be intense. Every time you see these guys go one-on-one, every time you see these guys in the team period, a 7-on-7 period, it's going to bring out something out of somebody. Somebody's going to go home mad. And I remember when I was playing, especially, I used to go home like, look here, I got to put stuff on tape that's going to make sure that I'll be able to sleep. Because if I can't go home at peace and saying I beat the guy who was in front of me, the next day going to be hard for me to, I'm going to be home ready for the next day. So I think those two groups go hand in hand,
I don't know what this is. I want to just.
There you go.
What is this even relevant
It's a touchdown turn. See, you ain't from the South where they don't clean up after they dog. See, I have tried to dive and catch a football and it hit a turn and I had to pick the football up. So who really wins that battle? So all I'm saying is, yes, what he said was true. Somebody got to win the battle, but we all win in the end with the DBs and the wide receivers.
Yeah, we do all win in the end.
Thank you.
Only Fred nailed the turns. All right, last one. Fan question.
Okay.
Describe how you felt after your first big play in the NFL. This one right here.
What was your first big play?
So my first big play, man, you got to think. So, most folks know I got drafted 16th pick in the first round in the 2001 draft, and I didn't play in a preseason game that year because I got injured on fan appreciation night. So you got to think, I missed almost the entire season. I didn't play until like week 12 or 13. And it's crazy how my first game was at home in Miami against the Dolphins. So I'm like, damn, my first NFL game is back in Miami, down the street from where I grew up at, in Myrtle Grove or in Miami Gardens. And I didn't get a chance to get off. I wasn't myself. I clearly wasn't. I came off a knee injury. I was out there probably 10 pounds overweight. But my biggest play probably that year came the next week against New England Patriots. I caught a bomb. I went deep on somebody. It was my first catch. And when I tell you, I got up and I trotted off the field, that ball in my hand. I remember watching the film. The ref was sitting there waiting for the ball. I got up and I just went and this ball went home.
I remember that play. It was against, not Ty Law, it was against the other corner, Otis. Otis was his name.
Might have been Otis Smith or something like that.
Smith. I remember that play. I remember watching it on ESPN.
Really?
Yeah. So it was big for me for many reasons. Man, I just went through so much being at home, watching everybody play, and just to know that damn, I arrived.
Yeah.
To me, that was like my arrival. Like, I'm here. I did what they knew I was gonna go do. Go deep on them. And other than that, I took that ball and gave it to my grandmother. She's not here now, but that was the first thing. I gave her that ball, telling her, you know, because I remember being that knucklehead in her house. Put that ball down, boy. Stop throwing that ball in my house. So that was like, you know what? Look, that ball paid us off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Awesome, man.
My first play was my first game ever. And we went on the road to San Diego. It was against Doug Flutie and Junior Seau. I'll never forget.
Okay.
First game of the year. I literally ended the game with like 8 tackles. I got my first career interception that day off of Doug Flutie.
Really?
I got a fumble recovery, and I ended up being like the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. So that was my start to the NFL.
That was your first game?
That was my first game.
Holy cow.
And we're playing against our rookie compadre, LaDainian Thomason. That was his first game.
Jeez, dude. Yeah. That's a way to start up.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, I wasn't drafted. I didn't play a lot my rookie year. I was in goal line personnel.
Yeah.
And so we were playing Tampa Bay. They call the package, and I'm on the sideline, like trying to keep warm the whole time.
Yeah.
Run out there, and I had a fake block and then run to the flat. And I was wide open. The defensive end had me in man-to-man coverage wide open. It was my first touchdown in the NFL. And I didn't score a whole bunch of touchdowns in college either. And I threw that ball. I was so excited, and it skipped into the stands.
Still looking for it.
So I was like, I got to the sideline. Like, where's the ball? And I was like, I don't know where the ball is. But that was pretty cool. And it's from Donovan McNabb. That was my mom's favorite player growing up. So it was a pretty cool experience.
That's dope. Well, as always, man, you guys were stellar, man. I appreciate you being on my show, cutting a little slack. You know what I mean? It was easier today without you and your antics.
But he brought the poop in for something totally unrelated.
For no reason, man. For no reason. But hey, as always, man, thanks for watching. That's a wrap.